Hi everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Seamus Brady. In this video, I'm going to be running through and recapping on all of the Dublin Football Championship Quarter Finals, which took place over the weekend at Parnell Park. So before I get into them, please like, subscribe, share and comment. It really helps us out here on the channel. And let's crack on with the video. So let's start with Saturday's game. So of course, the first game was Na Fianna against my club, Whitehall Colmcille. I was very, very positive going into the game. I knew that the lads would be up for it. I knew that they would give Na Fianna one hell of a challenge. I mean, let's look at it on paper here. Na Fianna came into this game 3 wins out of 3 in the group stage over St. Jude's, Thomas Davis, Skerry's Harps. You can't ignore how impressive that is. But Whitehall went into this game with no fear. Right from the start, Owen O'Donnell hit the first point. Na Fianna hit 4 unanswered points, then 2 from David Lacey, 1 from Michael Day, and 1 from Conor McHugh. Keith Campbell responded for Whitehall to make it 4 points to 2. The game was very tight. It was very intense. A lot of hard tackles going in. I mean, the battles that were going on between Lee Gannon and Aaron Byrne, Johnny Cooper and Sean Gannon. Of course, Sean Gannon, a Dublin minor. Johnny Cooper, probably heading towards the end of his career there. The battle between those was absolutely fantastic. Owen O'D as well, the Na Fianna fullback, and Owen O'Donnell had one hell of a battle there. I mean, it was just really excellent to watch. But in the 24th minute, a key moment happened. Conor McHugh goal for Na Fianna. Initially, James Doran got through on goal. Dara Cummins saved the first shot. It bounced up to Conor McHugh, who was running in, never stopped his run, and he palmed it home to the net. That was a huge moment for Na Fianna. Lee Gannon and Sean Gannon both hit crucial points to bring Whitehall back to within 3 points. But then Alistair Fitzgerald, who was exceptional for Na Fianna at right half back, he hit the last point of the half to make it 1-5 to 4 points to Na Fianna at half time. In the second half, Whitehall came right back into it. Dara Scanlon hit a point to bring Whitehall to within 3. And then a huge moment on the 50th minute. Owen O'Donnell fouled inside the box by Johnny Cooper, who was already on a yellow card after a scuffle with Sean Gannon. Then it turned out, he got the yellow card for throwing Oisin Murray on the ground. That was after Murray had initially fouled Johnny Cooper. Cooper reacted, got a yellow card. This second yellow card came when he pulled down Owen O'Donnell in the box. Then a penalty for Whitehall Colmcille converted by Kilmacud, and Johnny Cooper was sent off on a second yellow card. Na Fianna down to 14 men. Whitehall have pulled Na Fianna back to level scores, 1-9 to 1-9 with 10 minutes left. And I have to say, watching, I thought, we have them here. We could really kick on. We missed 2 huge chances to go in front. I mean, there was one in particular where I thought it looked like Owen O'Donnell for sure threw up his hand to call a mark. It was a long ball played into O'Donnell. He's falling forward. He throws the hand up. The ref didn't give it. Na Fianna responded really, really well, though. They hit the next 3 points, 2 from Conor McHugh and 1 from Aaron Byrne. But then Whitehall pulled it back. Kilmacud and Owen O'Donnell pulled it back to 1 point, but we ran out of time. Na Fianna 1-12, Whitehall Colmcille 1-11. Na Fianna into the semi-final, which is a big psychological moment for Na Fianna. They've fallen short at the quarterfinals the last few years. This has been a team that has been building towards what they hope will be inevitably or eventually a Dublin Club Championship. That's what they're hoping. And getting over the quarterfinal stages is a massive boost to the club. They go into the semi-final now against Ballyboden St. Enda's, and by God, what a game that will be. For Whitehall, it's an incredible year. Well done to the boys. Fantastic progress made by Anto Holly and his management team there. I mean, we played Na Fianna last year in the group stage. We lost to them by 118 to 12 points, like a 9-point comfortable victory for Na Fianna that day. And we pushed them right to the wire this time. So there's clearly a lot of progress being made. And I can't wait to see how much further we can go. As for Na Fianna, I feel like they'll carry in a lot of momentum into this semi-final now because they've really been tested by a top side. And now going into this game against Ballyboden, they'll be full of confidence that they can, get a result there and get into the final. The other game that was on the Saturday was probably the one that was the most watched in the country on that day. Kilmacud Crokes against Cuala, and it did not disappoint. A really, really tight game with Kilmacud winning by 2 points. Kilmacud Crokes 14 points, Cuala a goal and 9. Shane Walsh and Paul Mannion combined for 9 points between the two of them. Just a ridiculous partnership that Crokes have up there. A very even start, though. They were at 3 each after scores for Crokes. Mannion hit the first one. Then Dan O'Brien and Darren Mullen also pointed for Crokes. Then the O'Callaghan's and Luke Keating pointed for Cuala to make it 3 points apiece. Crokes went 2 points up after scores from Craig Diaz and Paul Mannion. But Cuala responded with 3 in a row to go 1 point up from Conor O'Callaghan, Luke Keating and Niall James. But scores from Shane Walsh and so on. Crokes were ahead at halftime by 8 points to 7. Worryingly, in the second half, Paul Mannion, who is being talked about, that Desi Farrell has confirmed he is returning to the Dublin setup. Another video on that and Jack McCaffrey's return here on Play on GA, so make sure you check that out. But Paul Mannion, worryingly, went off injured in the second half. I mean, he's had serious injury problems over the last few years, but luckily enough, Robbie Brennan, the Kilmacud Crokes manager, said it's just a low-grade sprain, so hopefully Mannion will be back to his best very, very soon. In the 46th minute, Cuala struck a goal. Niall O'Callaghan, Con O'Callaghan's brother, who's been in exceptional form for Cuala, hit the back of the net, palmed it home, and just like that, Cuala were right back in the mix. But Crokes hit 4 points in a row, and that saw them through. Darragh Mullen, 2 from Shane Walsh, and another from Shane Cunningham. They are over the line, winning by 2 points. And now they go into the other semi-final against Thomas Davis, who absolutely wiped the floor with Castleknock, which I'll get to in a minute. So for Cuala, again, very similar to Whitehall, huge year of progression. They're up from the Senior 2 Championship into the Senior 1 Championship. They made it out of a group which included Ballymun Kickhams, Ballyboden St Endas. So they've got nothing but progress this year. And to go out to a Kilmacud Crokes side that has Shane Walsh, Paul Mannion, Darragh Mullen, it's nothing to be ashamed of. And they next year can take huge pride, and they can go one step further, hopefully next year, and get into the last 4, maybe get to the final, maybe win it, because they absolutely have the players. Mick Fitzsimons, Patrick O'Coffey-Byrne, Conor Mullally, they were all fantastic. So they can hold their heads high. For Crokes, that's exactly what they would have expected, getting back into the last 4. They are looking at an All-Ireland Club Championship because they should have won it last year. They fell short. I feel like if they had Mannion that day, they would have got over the line, let alone having Mannion and Shane Walsh. So they're a serious threat for the whole damn country this year. Then moving into the 2 games that were on the Sunday. The first one was Thomas Davis against Castleknock. And obviously, if you saw the video with Aaron from GAA Fan TV, the 2 of us were predicting a really, really tight game here between Thomas Davis and Castleknock. But we both gave the nod to Thomas Davis. We both said that we both felt that Thomas Davis were going to go into the semi-finals. We were right that Thomas Davis would win, but this was a beatdown. Thomas Davis won 12, Castleknock 5 points. Castleknock only hitting 5 scores in the entire game. This is a Castleknock side with Kieran Kilkenny in the team. This is a Castleknock side with Tommy McDaniel in the team, Ger McDermott Rowe in the team. And Thomas Davis just marshalled them so well. I mean, big shout out to Gavin Carruth, who just shadowed Kieran Kilkenny for the entire game. Kilkenny didn't score. The best thing he did was in the 45th minute, he had a goal chance, but that was denied by Robbie Crilly, who was outstanding in goal for Thomas Davis. In the 42nd minute, Thomas Davis struck their goal. That was Owen Conroy. That put them 7 points in front, and that was it. The game was completely, absolutely dead finished. And really disappointing from Castleknock, to be honest. I mean, they topped the group. They are the only game that they'd lost in the group was to Whitehall, and that was, pretty unlucky from their point of view. Costello took the free. He was going for a point. It dropped into the net, and that was their only defeat. They beat Lucan pretty comfortably. They'd absolutely battered Round Towers Lusk. So they would have been going into this game with a lot of confidence. It just didn't materialize. Thomas Davis, absolutely fantastic. Cian Murphy, Fionn Murray, they were all so impressive. They were so sharp on Castleknock's kickouts as well. And as well, big shout out to Conor Guilfoyle in the forwards for Castleknock, hitting 3 points from play. Absolutely fantastic. And going into this game now against Kilmacud Crokes, they've nothing to lose. The whole country is expecting Kilmacud Crokes to win this. Thomas Davis are the best at being the underdogs. They're the best at grinding out results. I mean, they went away to Jude's and got a 1-point victory after being 2-5 to 4 points down at halftime with a man down as well. And they still pulled that one out of the fire. So going into this game against Crokes, they will love the fact that they have nothing to lose. They don't really have many players on the Dublin team. Like Cian Murphy is their only one that's on the Dublin seniors right now, to my knowledge. They'll obviously have the likes of Adam Waddick and Fionn Murray, and maybe now Conor Guilfoyle that will be floating around the larger squad. But they have more or less the same team for the league that they have for the championship. So it gives them an advantage in terms of how well they know each other, way better than any of the teams that are left in the club championship right now. So they will be so confident. At halftime, there were 7 points to 2 in front. They never looked back. And that goal from Conroy killed Castleknock off. For Castleknock, look, they made it out of the group again, into the quarterfinals again. They have been a team that have consistently made the last 8 for the last few years now. but they'll be really disappointed with how this ended. But they can definitely come back stronger next year. They've got so much underage talent there that have come through over the last few years. The likes of Luke Swan, the likes of Conor Murray, who've been playing with the Dublin under-20s, the likes of Senan Forker. This is not a team that is going to go away. And if they have Kilkenny back in for the full year, they will be back stronger next year. The final game then was Ballyboden St. Enda's 3-15, Ballinteer St. John's 3 goals and 10. Probably the game that I thought Ballyboden would just kind of cruise, to be honest. I really thought that they would. And on the 55th minute, I was right. Ballyboden St. Enda's were 10 points up with 5 minutes left to play. And then it all just fell apart. So we'll get on to it. Warren Egan hit a brace of goals for Ballyboden St. Enda's. The first of them coming in the first half. They were 1-9 to 1-6 up at half time against Ballinteer. Ballinteer's goal coming from Jack Lundy. That was very early on in the game. But then Ballyboden took over, especially in the third quarter. Warren Egan hit a second goal, and in the 41st minute, Darren O'Reilly hit a goal for Ballyboden. Colin Baskell had also hit 7 points. They were in cruise control. And then in 4 minutes, Ballinteer St. John's hit 2 goals and a point. The first one coming in the 55th minute from Fergal Duffy. The next one coming in the 57th minute from David Devereaux. And Jack Lundy then pointed after to leave only 3 points in it after being 10 points up 4 minutes before. It was crazy the way that this was falling apart for Ballyboden. Their experience proved crucial in the end. Declan O'Mahony denied a goal-bound effort, and Conall Keeney hit the last 2 points, the last of which being an outrageous kick from the sideline, which is doing the rounds now on social media. Why would you even think about shooting, let alone being able to pull it off? So Ballyboden got through 3-15 to 3-10. They made it a lot harder for themselves than they needed to. And make no mistake, if they switch off like that against Na Fianna in the semi-final, they are out. Simply put, they need to be at 100% for the 60 minutes. Similarly with Na Fianna, the way that Whitehall managed to peg them back, they won't be happy with that. So both semi-finals, I think, are going to be absolute crackers. I really think Thomas Davis will give Kilmacud Crokes a right good game, a lot better than people will give them a chance, because they're flying under the radar still. I mean, they beat the finalists from 2016 with the likes of Kieran Kilkenny, with the likes of Tommy McDaniel. They beat them by 10 points, only let them have 5 scores in the entire game. Crokes, Cuala held Crokes, and for a long periods of that game, and Crokes only won by 2 points. So if you're looking at it, maybe if Paul Mannion isn't actually fully fit, Thomas Davis have a great chance in that game. And then the other one, Ballyboden against Na Fianna, I mean, that's anybody's game. So I can't wait for both of them. Make sure you check out the preview here on Play on GAA. And until the next one, guys, take care.